Wes's Quest for the Tail Waggle Dance, a meadow adventure. In a sunlit meadow where the tall grass danced like sleepy waves and flowers hummed sweet tunes, there lived a small, fluffy white dog named Wes. His bright, joyful eyes sparkled like drops of morning dew, and his wet black nose was always wiggling with delight. Wes loved the meadow, his home, where he danced among daisies and butterflies floated like tiny kites in the sky. But sometimes, when the sky turned grey and the wind whispered secrets, Wes would feel a little shiver run through his fur. You see, Wes had a secret. Deep down, he didn't feel as bright and bouncy as he looked. He wished to be as brave as the bees that buzzed from flower to flower, but something inside him felt as shaky as a leaf in the wind. This feeling stopped him from trying new tricks in front of the other animals, and it made his tail hang low instead of wag. Luckily, Wes had a best friend named Chloe, another small, fluffy white dog with eyes that danced like sunlight on water. Chloe was always there, jumping and ready to play. One day she said to Wes, "You're not alone, you know. I've seen many friends who feel just like you. But remember, you're wonderful just the way you are." A sparkling discovery. Wes thought about Chloe's words, and inside he whispered to himself, "I wish I could believe that. I remember when Benny the brave bunny learned to hop high over the hedge. If he could do it, maybe I can too." There was one thing Wes dreamed of more than anything: to lead the Great Meadow Parade. But the worry that wiggled in his belly made him think, what if I trip? What if I bark too softly? Thinking about it made his heart feel as heavy as a rock. As Wes lay in the soft grass, he watched the clouds and thought, "I'm good at digging holes and finding lost toys. Maybe, just maybe, I can find a way to be brave too." One sunny afternoon, Wes and Chloe were playing their favourite game of hide-and-seek among the whispering willows when Chloe found something sparkling in the grass. "What's this?" she laughed, holding up a rainbow-coloured collar with a bell that tinkled like laughter. As they looked closer, they noticed tiny words woven into the collar, shining like a secret waiting to be told. Chloe read aloud, "Find the Tail Waggle Dance of Happiness, and you'll find what you're looking for." Wes felt a tickle of excitement. Could this be my chance to find bravery? He thought. They decided to follow the collar's clue, and as they set off, they sang a funny song that made their hearts feel light. "We're off to find the dance, the wonderful dance of happiness," they chanted, tails wagging to the rhythm of their paws. As they journeyed, Chloe said, "We're in this together, Wes. Whatever happens, we'll find your waggle." Wes looked at Chloe and felt a warm glow inside. Maybe I'm stronger than I think, he thought, into the whispering forest. The meadow gave way to a forest where the trees stood tall like the tallest towers. The path was twisty, and the air was filled with the smell of pine and adventure. Wes felt a flutter in his heart, a mix of worry and wonder. What if I can't do it? But then, he decided, I'll try anyway. They reached a clearing where the path split in two, and they weren't sure which way to go. Just then, the bell on the collar made a melody that seemed to say, "This way, brave ones." And so, with the bell's song leading them, Wes and Chloe took their first steps towards the unknown, their spirits lifted by the sound of courage that rang clear and true. A glade of challenges. As Wes and Chloe stepped into the melody of the bell, the forest seemed to sway in time with their brave hearts. The sun peeked through the leaves, making pretty patterns on the path that lay ahead. Their paws left gentle prints in the earth, each step a promise to find the Tail Waggle Dance of happiness. The first place they encountered was a glade where the air danced with the smell of wildflowers. Here, a stream laughed over smooth stones, and dragonflies zipped in loops of blue and green. "It's beautiful," said Wes, his eyes wide with wonder. In the glade they met a wise old tortoise named Tilly, with a shell patterned like the night sky. "Hello, young adventurers," Tilly welcomed. "What brings you to my glade?" "We're searching for the Tail Waggle Dance of happiness," Chloe explained. Tilly's eyes twinkled. "To find happiness, you must cross the stream, where the stepping stones are slippery and the water runs deep." Wes felt his heart drop. Slippery stones. That sounds scary, he thought. But then he remembered Chloe's words. "We're in this together. We can do this," he said, more to himself than to Chloe. Taking a deep breath, Wes stepped onto the first stone. His paws wobbled, but he focused on the next stone, then the next. "You're doing great, Wes!" cheered Chloe. With each step, Wes's bravery grew. By the time they reached the other side, his tail was wagging like a little flag of victory. The bell on the collar jingled a tune of triumph, and the rainbow colours sparkled brighter. As they thanked Tilly, a butterfly whispered, "Follow the petals," leading them to their next adventure, the hilltop dance. The second place was a hilltop where the wind sang through the grass, and the view reached to the ends of the earth. Here they found a group of birds with feathers of every colour, ready to take flight. "We're practising for the sky dance," chirped a cardinal with a bright red front. "But we need a leader to guide us." Wes's ears stood up. Led a dance? In the sky? The thought made his legs shake. But then the bell's melody sang, "You can do hard things." "I'll try," Wes said, his voice clearer than before. He watched the birds and moved with them, his little body copying their lovely sweeps and dives. The birds followed, and together they made a dance that painted the sky with happiness. As they landed, the birds thanked Wes, their song a chorus of thanks. The bell on the collar now glowed with a light that seemed to pulse with Wes's heartbeat. He felt taller, his eyes shining with the picture of the sky they had danced in. A trail of clouds shaped like arrows pointed them towards their next place, the Whispering Willows puzzle. The third place was a grove of whispering willows, where the leaves told stories of old magic. Here they met a family of rabbits, their noses twitching with worry. "A puzzle blocks our home's door," explained a rabbit with fur as soft as cloud fluff. "We can't solve it." Wes knelt by the door, where words appeared as if written by the wind. "To enter, you must share a happiness that's true to your heart." Wes closed his eyes and thought of the meadow, of Chloe, and of the dance with the birds. "I find happiness in being with my friend and helping others," he said. The door swung open, and the rabbits hopped around Wes in happiness. The bell now chimed in harmony that resonated with the willows, and its colours swirled with the shades of the grove. Wes felt as light as a leaf dancing on the breeze. A path lined with glowing fireflies beckoned them onward, and they followed the twinkling lights. The Caverns Challenge. The final place was a cavern, where crystals shone like stars in an underground sky. Here, Shadow Pounce awaited, his yellow eyes narrow. "You think you're brave now, little dog?" he sneered. "Let's see how you do in the dark." The cavern plunged into shadow, and Wes felt fear crawl up his back. But then he remembered all the challenges he had faced. "I am brave when I try new things," he thought with confidence. "I'm not scared of the dark," Wes declared, his voice echoing in the cavern. "And I'm not scared of you." As if in response, The bell on the collar reflected the light so brightly it pushed the shadows away. Shadow Pounce went away, hissing, as the cavern filled with a warm light. Wes and Chloe found themselves in a chamber where the walls pulsed with the beat of the earth. Here, they danced the Tail Waggle Dance of happiness, their bodies moving with new-found bravery. The bell sang the purest melody yet, and as they danced it turned back into its original rainbow colours, its chime now a melody of courage. With hearts full of happiness, they emerged from the cavern, the bell guiding them home with its soft melody. The meadow welcomed them with a hug, and Wes knew that no matter what, he could face the future with a wag and a dance. Twilight triumph. As Wes and Chloe made their way back through the whispering willows, the sun dipped low, painting the sky in colours of pink and orange. Wes's paws felt light, and his heart was a fluttering butterfly of joy. Chloe looked at him and smiled. "You look different, Wes. Tell me, how do you feel?" Wes thought for a moment, his tail wagging, keeping time with his joy. "I feel like I can do anything," he thought. "I feel brave, like I could dance with the stars if they asked me," he said out loud, his voice steady and strong. Chloe laughed, her giggle mixing with the soft melody of the collar. "I knew you had it in you," she said. "Remember the time I got stuck up the big tree? You were the one who gave me confidence to jump down. You've always been brave, Wes." As they reached the edge of the forest, the meadow opened before them, a blanket of twilight and dew. The familiar smells of home wrapped around them like a warm blanket. Fireflies buzzed above the grass, their lights glowing like tiny stars. Wes and Chloe paused, breathing in the peace of the meadow. In that quiet moment, a gentle voice whispered through the leaves, "Well done, brave Wes." It was the magical guide who had watched over their journey. Your heart knew the way, and you followed it true. Wes felt a rush of pride. "I've changed. I've really changed," he realized. His fears, once like towering giants, now seemed no bigger than ants marching through the grass. "Thank you," he whispered back, knowing the guide would hear. The journey home had been long, but Wes's new bravery made his steps light. As they approached their favourite hill, Wes paused, looking at the world with new eyes. "Do you remember how I used to be scared of high places, Chloe?" he asked, thinking gently. Chloe nodded, her eyes full of motivation. "I remember, but you're not that dog anymore, Wes." With a nod, Wes ran up the hill, his movements sure and quick. At the top, he stood tall, looking out over the meadow below. "I can see everything from up here, and it's not scary at all," he thought, a smile spreading across his face. The Great Meadow Parade. The next day, Wes's bravery was tested. The animals had come together for the Great Meadow Parade, and it was time for him to lead. There was a tiny pause, a whisper of the old fear, but Wes shook it off like raindrops from his fur. He remembered the happy words, "I am brave when I try new things," and took his place at the front. With each step, Wes's bravery shone brighter than the sun. The other animals followed, inspired by his courage. "Look at Wes go!" they cheered. And Wes felt as if he could light up the whole sky. Life in the meadow was different now. Wes tried new games and led new adventures. Chloe was always by his side, her support constant. Together, they discovered every corner of their world, their laughter a melody that lifted every spirit. One day, a new puppy arrived in the meadow, his little body shaking with nerves. Wes saw the familiar fear in the puppy's eyes and knew just what to do. "You're stronger than you think," he told the little one, sharing the magic words that had helped him. "And remember, new adventures are fun." As the puppy listened, his tail began to wag, and soon he was playing with the other animals, his fears forgotten. Wes watched, his heart growing with gentle pride. Years passed, and Wes's adventures grew. He climbed hills that once seemed impossible, crossed rivers that had once made him shake, and always he helped others find their bravery too. And so, Wes lived a life filled with joy, his heart forever dancing to the tune of bravery, his wag a symbol of the courage that lived within.